Hi, guys. Welcome back to Affirmations. I want to wish everyone mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical health. Okay, I'm hoping everyone is doing well, and hopefully your week is going well. If it hasn't isn't going well or hasn't gone well, what's one thing you can think of that can help it be better? Okay, let's see if this is going to give us some smoke. There it is. Okay, I want to thank all my subscribers, those of you who are new that are joining me. I want you to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I post. And for those of you that are new, we do tackle the topic of healing slave trauma, generational trauma. And we always start off with our saying, death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Have you been feeding yourself fresh or rotten fruit? Always on to mind the self-talk that you do with yourself as well as what you speak, and as well as what you speak about others. So we want to make sure that we're not lying or being malicious. Sometimes they can activate reap what you sow. Okay. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to do an inner child, right? This is in the description box. All of the cards of books that I recommend is in the description box. Okay. And so we're going to look at this. And so again, uh, for those of you that are new, I do have a segment called, well, we check out story time. It's a segment called Story Time for the Children of the Slaves, where I will read a children's book to kind of help us our tap into our inner child. Again, why is that important? Again, because during slavery and throughout our generations, ourselves, our children, as well as our ancestors, did not have the luxury of being children. And so it's important that we tap back into that in order to reclaim our innocence. And this is where we hope and dream. And so we want to be able to do that, okay? And so we're going to kind of see, what do we need to be looking at regarding our inner child, right? The statement, there's no place like home, comes to mind. Yeah. And so we always will be carrying a lot of times the wounds from our past with us, and a lot of times them stemming from childhood. So we do have to always be aware of our inner child and different our triggers and things that have wounded us, and ask ourselves, how's that affecting us today? So if there's any kind of past trauma, you want to ask yourself, how is that affecting me today? We always talk about journal about that. It'd be interesting to see what you come up with that. So it's important to be aware of that, okay? And I'm not saying that you have to change it immediately or change it at all, but it's just good to be aware, okay? All right, we're going to see if we can get something to pop out. If not, I'm going to randomly pick. Okay. So it's been cold where I am, y'all. Got my wood burning stove going today. Having to keep up with it. And so I'm hoping you all are staying warm. Okay. Let's see. All right. So I'm just going to randomly pick. Come on, what's this one want to be stuck? Interesting. Inspiration. We got inspiration. Inspiration. Let's see what this is talking about. This is number 34. Yeah, are some of you all inspired? Are you inspiring others? Or do you need to be inspired? Let's see what this is saying. It says, Benny has always dreamed of seeing faraway places. He loves Bunny Burrow, but sometimes it seems so small compared to the wide, wild world. The lands beyond their borders inspire awe and wonder. He can't wait to get out and explore. The question is, what inspires you? What makes your mind wander down exciting new avenues? What makes your heart sing and your soul take flight? Those are good journaling questions. And also, too, the challenge you're going to have is, are those things that you kind of deny that because you think other people won't approve of it or would judge you for it? right? Sometimes people will tease, but we have to understand that we're individuals and we all have a right to our individualism, right? It says, ask yourself, if I could do anything today, what would I do? And for some of us, we don't know, but you do have to start asking yourself that question and trying out different things to see. It says, ask yourself why. Is your desire linked to a deeper wish or momentary, come on, word, momentary whim? Okay. Is it a deeper wish or just a whim? Look to your idols, it says, and heroes for inspiration. Now, this is tricky because I think about what's going on in the media right now with P. Diddy and a lot of our stars that we idolize. And they can inspire us in some ways. We also have to be aware of what's inspiring us, right? Is it things that is part of the behaviors that still follow our people from slavery, where it's this unhealthy kind of toxic behavior? And the way that you know it's not good for you is, again, you'll know a thing by its fruits, by the results of it, right? At the end of it, is it pouring life into you? Is it moving you towards something positive? Is it destructive? Is it harming in any kind of way, either yourself or others? So you have to look at that, because sometimes we're being inspired by things that are not healthy for us, right? It says, don't be afraid to dream as big as some of the people you idolize. It says this card encourages you to seek inspiration from those you that have come before you. So here we go with the ancestors, right? Observing those walking the path ahead of you is a great way to learn and grow. Research and explore those you admire to determine how they achieve their results, right? Emulate them or simply take what works for you and leave what doesn't. You don't need to be a carbon copy of someone you admire to reach their heights. You have wings of your own. Watch them and learn how to fly. One of the things that's tricky with us is sometimes because they've taught us to kind of compete with each other and be angry with each other, sometimes the people that you're envying and that you don't like, you're actually inspired by them. So sometimes they've taught us to always assume that we're angry or jealous of someone, but sometimes we may be actually inspired. So that's another thing that gets a little tricky with us. It says, use your inspired knowledge to create your unique masterpiece. This is how new and wonderful creations come into the world. It takes a lot of courage to walk your own path, right? A lot of courage to walk your own path, and even more to walk with higher aspirations. So sometimes in walking your own path, it's just like I tell people, sometimes we can keep things that we know how to hide the things we want to hide. Sometimes you have to hide your inspirations. Sometimes you have to keep that private and explore that on your own, because when you open up that door sharing it with people, sometimes they can knock that down and put their judgment on it. Also, too, death and life is in the power of the tongue, right? Which you speak, other people's energy speaking a thing can also affect the momentum of it. It also can affect your mindset. So sometimes you have to quietly hold things that you're trying to figure out about yourself to yourself, okay? And also, too, sometimes people that some people give good advice in certain situations. You need to understand who to go to when, right? One person may be good for this, one person is good for that. And then sometimes, if you notice a person that you tend to go to and you look up to, you have to really ask yourself, when I've listened to this person, what has been the result? If it hasn't been positive, then you want to reconsider, okay? It takes a lot of courage to walk your own path, and even more to walk with higher aspiration. Remember, there is no right or wrong way to create. Share your work with the world and allow others to draw inspiration from you. Also, too, when you create, you can find an environment to do that. Some of the people that's closest to you don't even have to know about that. That can be a whole private world, right? Especially if you think other people are going to criticize and make fun of. Sometimes people do that because sometimes they get agitated and angry because they don't know what they want to do with their lives, or they feel like they're losing control, or they want to be able to control your life. We're always talking about the master slave dynamic, right? Some people feel like they have a right to dictate what's good for you because it benefits them. So, one of the things we want you to do is create a vision board to begin what they call manifesting, right? When you come across images, text, or examples of things you would love to create, capture them and place them somewhere you can glance at them often. Use these creative kernels as inspiration for your masterpieces, okay? The affirmation is I draw upon the inspiration of people I admire and seek to. Yeah, I draw upon the inspiration of people I admire and seek to inspire others, okay? All right. So on that note, we got us a short one today. I'm going to leave you with our saying again, like, share, and subscribe. Information in the description box on how to contact me if you're wanting counseling, if you're looking for a counselor, as well as information about self-harm. Do pass that on. Also understand if anyone's reaching out to you pretending to be me, no, that is not me. I will not reach out to you. Information again in the description box on how to contact me, okay? And so I'm going to end on our note. Everyone has a right to heal from trauma, right? Without people's opinion or judgment, and in privacy, even erase nation. Until next time. Bye.